Picture this. It's 1695 in Dublin, Ireland. You're on the docks, watching a ship called the Ouzel Galley get ready to sail. It's a completely normal scene. The crew is yelling, ropes are groaning, and some guy named Seamus is already arguing with a barrel. The ship's owner, a smug merchant in a ridiculous hat, waves goodbye. It's just another trading trip to the Mediterranean, they say. What could possibly go wrong? Well, a few days later, the Ouzel Galley just disappears. No distress calls, no floating wreckage, not even a whisper from other ships. A week passes, then 2, then 3, then just silence. It's as if the Atlantic Ocean swallowed it whole. Back in Dublin, the merchants mourn for about 10 minutes before they spot a silver lining. Insurance. See, back then, insurance fraud was practically a national sport. If your ship didn't sink, you were probably doing business wrong. So, the merchants declare the Ouzel Galley lost at sea, file their papers, and collect a very hefty payout. They raise their glasses to unforeseen tragedy, while wearing smug faces and powdered wigs that cost more than a sailor's entire yearly wage. Years go by, 5 years to be exact. 5 years of absolute silence. No letters, no survivors, no news. Everyone just assumes the ship is rotting somewhere off the coast of Morocco, or maybe it was captured by pirates who had better dental hygiene than the Irish. Either way, the Ouzel Galley becomes a ghost story, a local legend, a cautionary tale, and the perfect excuse for lazy sailors to use. By year 5, everyone has moved on. The merchants have spent their insurance money, the widows have remarried. The local taverns now tell the story with a few extra ghosts added for dramatic effect. Then one morning in the year 1700, the entire Dublin harbour collectively loses its mind. Because there, sailing in as if it never left, is the Ouzel Galley. Can you imagine the shock? It's like watching your supposedly dead dog casually stroll through the front door after 5 years, wagging its tail and asking what's for dinner. That's the level of confusion we're talking about here. The ship itself looks fine. A little weathered, sure, but solid. The crew steps off, looking dirty and sunburned, but very much alive. And they're so casual about it, like nothing happened. No big announcement, no dramatic apologies. Just a simple, "Morning, lads, we made it back." And at that moment, Dublin's entire economy basically short-circuits. Because here's the massive problem. The merchants already got paid for that ship. Technically, the Ouzel Galley now belongs to the insurance company. But the insurers don't want it either, because if they take ownership, they have to explain why a supposedly sunken ship just reappeared, whistling a sea shanty. Nobody knows what to do, which in Irish legal history is pretty much a standard Tuesday. So begins one of the strangest legal messes in maritime history. For months, Dublin's courtrooms are filled with men in wigs, shouting at each other, accusing everyone of witchcraft, incompetence, or both. The central question is, who owns a ship that has been both dead and alive? The merchants claim they never meant to defraud anyone. They just assumed Poseidon had accepted the delivery. The insurers argue that technically the ship is a zombie, and zombies have no property rights. And all the while, the poor sailors just want to get paid for their 5-year delay. The case drags on for so long that people start selling tickets to the court hearings. Newspapers print gossip about it like it's a royal scandal. One judge supposedly asked if the ship should be classified as haunted cargo. Another suggested they should just tow it back out to sea and pretend this whole thing never happened. But Ireland, to its credit, does not implode, though it comes very close. Finally, someone has a brilliant idea. The best way to solve this mess is to create a brand new organization, the Ouzel Galley Society. Imagine a combination of a courtroom, a gentleman's club, and a drinking contest. Their mission is to handle maritime disputes quietly over a glass of brandy instead of clogging up the official courts. It's like saying, let's fix fraud by inventing better organized fraud. And somehow, this idea works. Bureaucracy wins again. For the next 100 years, the Ouzel Galley Society handles everything from shipwreck arguments to insurance scandals. And guess who the members are? The very same merchants who started this whole mess in the first place. It's basically corruption wearing a monocle, and it works perfectly because nobody dares to question it. Every few months, they'd gather, have a drink, and declare that justice had been served. Usually justice was served to whoever paid for dinner. But the biggest mystery of all still remains. Where was the ship for all that time? Whenever anyone asked the crew, they gave the same vague answer. Oh, we just got delayed. When pressed for details, they offered all sorts of conflicting stories. Some said pirates, others blamed storms. A few mentioned trading near the Ottoman coast. One persistent rumor claims they ditched their official trade routes, made a bunch of secret deals, and pocketed the profits themselves. In other words, they went full freelance capitalism before it was cool. Some historians believe the Ouzel Galley was captured, used for black market trading, and then released once the crew had made enough money to bribe their way back home. Others suspect the crew simply decided that 5 years of tax-free work sounded like a pretty good deal. Whatever the truth is, it's clear they didn't expect Dublin to remember them so vividly. That must have been awkward. They probably thought they'd be celebrated as heroes. Instead, they walked straight into the 1700s version of a tax audit. Still, nobody was ever punished. Everyone was either too confused or maybe just too drunk to keep track of it all. Eventually, the ship was allowed to sail again because maritime paperwork in the 18th century had the consistency of oatmeal. The Ouzel Galley Society, however, thrived. What began as a simple damage control operation became a fixture of Irish business life. By the 1800s, it was part courtroom, part social club, and part gossip network. Members used it to settle disputes, fund charities, and occasionally remind newcomers not to ask too many questions about the year 1695. The original Ouzel Galley was eventually dismantled, but its legend lived on, whispering through taverns like a sea shanty with trust issues. Today, historians still argue about what really happened. Was it piracy, insurance fraud, or just a divine comedy? The documents don't agree, the testimonies contradict each other, and the only consistent fact is that somehow everyone involved made money, which, let's be honest, might be the most Irish ending imaginable. In the end, the Ouzel Galley became more than just a ship. It became a metaphor for bad decisions that somehow work out, for paperwork so confusing that it accidentally creates new institutions, and for human nature's endless talent for pretending everything is fine while the hull is clearly on fire. And if you think something like that couldn't happen today, just remember that modern finance exists. Entire companies vanish, reappear, and announce, "We were just restructuring." The Ouzel Galley was simply ahead of its time, a floating PowerPoint presentation on how to fail upward. So if you ever feel lost, just remember the Ouzel Galley. It disappeared for 5 years. It returned without explanation. It caused chaos. It changed an entire nation's legal system, and then it quietly faded into history like a man leaving a bar tab unpaid. Sometimes, surviving is just about showing up late enough that everyone forgets what you were supposed to be doing in the first place. If you've made it this far without vanishing mysteriously for half a decade, congratulations. You're officially more reliable than the Ouzel Galley. Subscribe to our channel, where history sails right off the map and somehow still finds its way home.